Uh, I was working on Saturday, and then on yesterday, my son had a rowing race that I had to take him to, and then had to go to
Oh,
London.
nice. How'd you get on?
Pretty well, I think. He won't know until later because it was a timed thing. So,
Oh, okay, okay. Awesome stuff. So if anyone is seeing, hi Juliana herself, if anyone is seeing that there's a third party in here, it's my Fathom note taker, fear not. Jill, for some reason, I've got you in here and in the waiting room. I'm going to ignore you in
Oh,
the waiting room.
yeah, let me turn this off. Hang on. I had trouble getting on, so I thought I'd done something wrong. So I think I joined on my phone.
About the funny story about getting on, because I've been sat in my personal waiting room, meeting room going, is everyone?
It did say, "Oh, she's got another meeting going." Oh, it must be me that's made the mistake, because Claire wouldn't do that.
That I'm late. I was on time. Just in the wrong place.
Ah, hey, that's the way it
Lovely.
goes, isn't it?
Welcome. It's lovely to have you on. So I know Kirsten can't make it because she's got the last day of IT. I know Bridget can't make it today because she's making money. Love that. So Jill and Toby, this next bit might not apply to you unless you've been super hot on doing the recordings and picking up on the homework. If you have, feel free to wave at me. Jill, look at you.
50-50. And there's a lot of homework. I haven't done any of the tapping. I've done the recordings. Literally finished at 8 o'clock this morning, but
Amazing.
hmm,
Okay.
wish
So,
I hadn't, but hey.
so today we're going to be looking at where you are acting like your old self. And before we get going, I'm going to ask for your shifts from yesterday's homework. So who would like to share first their experiences with yesterday's homework? Specifically, how you felt after the call, how you felt at the end of the day, and what did you do differently that proved you are stepping into the identity? Go on, Juliana.
I think it was just, for me, it was more the attitude that I was having towards what I was doing. So I was working on the therapy business, writing blogs and stuff. And I think because it's been on my to-do list for so long, I was feeling quite frustrated rather than just like motivated to progress because it's getting there. And I think I just took the attitude of like, just enjoy, just be calm and do it, in a nice way.
Yeah, awesome stuff.
Yeah, I think it was interesting because today, when I woke up, usually the first thing I do when I wake up is I should have woken up earlier. That's usually my first thought in the morning. Like I don't know, I could have done these things. Yes. And today I woke up and I thought, what would I think? The future me think. Waking up at this time is like, I don't give a shit. That's it. I just woke up and I feel good. And it was interesting.
Yeah, excellent. Thank you.
Hi. I felt much clearer-headed. I made a phone call that I'd been putting off for a while. It lasted 45 minutes. I spoke from the heart, but with authority. It felt like there were no frayed emotions. That's the best way I could put it. So everything felt connected and with a purpose. Juliana was so right in saying what she said a moment ago. The mindset shift just made it feel different. So I wrote down mindset shift feels like changed reality. It's like totally just a different, it felt bloody amazing. I felt outside of myself, but in the most beautiful way. So so it was about prioritizing rather than procrastinating.
Nice. Awesome stuff. Thank you.
Thank you.
Jill, did you have something if you did the duties?
Where would I say? This morning when I got up, I hadn't done the second day recording, but I did feel okay. What we're doing today, I thought actually I've got a heat going on. Good, get crack on.
Mm.
rather than, oh God, or yeah, I've come off a weekend, I ended up signing up for another course, which was in person, and I came off quite high. And I thought, you know what, you've done this before, you come away quite high. What's the action now? And I
Yeah.
haven't actually I haven't made that determined step yet. But I do feel there's a shift. I did write some things down after a few ahas. Yeah, I just feel like it's a great time for me. It's momentum building.
Okay, awesome. So what I'm going to invite you to do, Jill, and anyone can do this at any point, if you know that in the past you've done a course and you've come off on a high, you're all motivated, and then you've done fuck all with it, which is a technical term, I'm going to ask you to make the decision right now to do something with it. Just make the decision. I decide to actually carry this on. Make the decision to be the you that takes this and runs with it. Not try, do. Do or do not. There is no try. I'm not doing Yoda voice.
I've got 6 weeks until May the 4th when you do it.
Yes, I'm building up to it. Okay, awesome, great shares. Toby, I'm going to guess that you don't want me to pick on you at this point.
Yeah, sorry, I haven't. I haven't had a chance to look at the recordings.
No worries.
For any. Sorry, but
No worries, Lee. Pick up when you can.
but it sounds like I'm missing out, so I will definitely.
You are. FOMO. All right then, my lovelies. So just before we get going with the call today, we're going to set the intention. So I'd like to invite you to close your eyes, take a breath. Let it go. And then just repeating to yourself, either out loud or in your mind, in this session, I intend to catch and shift before they sabotage me. And I intend to carry that through for the rest of today. And for however long I need to. Beautiful. Take a breath. There you go. And then when you're ready, opening your eyes. At some point, I'm going to sneak in something about how wonderful I am and just watch you all repeat it. So as always, we're going to start with some questions, a bit of guided self-inquiry. Like I said, today we're going to be looking at where we act like our old selves. So this is to help you catch where you are unconsciously dropping into your old self so that you can catch it and change it. So the first question I would like you to answer is, what are 3 habits or patterns you have that reinforce your old identity? So Jill, maybe for you, one of them might be coming off a course and doing fucking nothing with it. Or just a don't know, as a maybe. What are 3 habits or patterns that you have that reinforce your old identity? Maybe it's getting up late and beating yourself up. Maybe it's procrastinating over posting something on socials. Maybe it's something else. But what are 3 habits or patterns you have that reinforce your old identity? And when you've got them, just give me a thumbs up. Cheers, Soph. Cheers, Jill. Just give you a few more secondos before I do the countdown music. Next question. When do you most feel like your old self? When do you most feel like your old self? Is it when things start to get stressful? Is it when you have to take a scary action? Is it when you have to talk to family? When do you most feel like your old self? Give me a thumbs up when you've done it. Cheers, Soph. Toby, I recognise that this might be a little bit difficult for you because you haven't caught up on the call about your future self yesterday, but just you can always revisit it. Just a few more seconds for that. Next question. What is the hidden benefit of staying in the old identity? Staying in the old identity.
Just one, Claire?
Or you can go mad if you want,
Okay.
but the biggest one, certainly. Soph, I know you're writing furiously because your screen keeps shaking. It's really funny. Next question. If I continue these old habits, what will my business or life look like in 1 year? If I continue with these old habits, what will my business or life look like in 1 year? Give me a thumbs up if you're done. Thank you. If I was already good enough, stroke successful, whichever feels more pertinent, how would I act differently? If I was already good enough, stroke successful, how would I act differently? Do-do, do-do-do-do. And last question. What is one new habit I will commit to today? Okay. Who would like to be the first to share very quickly their answers? Go, Jill.
Right, quickly. Where am I acting like my old self? Three habits patterns to reinforce the identity. Doing a course and doing nothing with it, not planning my time, and avoiding all the things that I should be doing. When do I feel most like my old self? When do I feel when I have to take an action? I don't know what that next word is, sorry. When I play safe and stay in my comfort zone. Question, what is the hidden belief of staying in the old identity? Familiarity, comfort, excuses not to take the action, safety, beat yourself up and don't achieve what I say. If I did continue these old habits, what would it look like in a year's time? Exactly the bloody same. Scarcity of progress, income, or job satisfaction. If I was already good enough, how would I act differently? Enthusiastic, consistent, planned use of time. That's about enough, I think. Oh, one more is, what's the old habit I'll commit to today? Talk about what I have done and do something with that. It's a bit unspecific, but yeah.
Okay. I'm going to invite you to think about how you can make that more specific.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jill. Who would like to be second to share? Oh, a tie. Whoever hits the unmute first can talk. You're both going to wait for the other one now.
Okay. First question, 3 habits to reinforce old identity: lack of planning, lack of discipline, and procrastinating actually starting. So I'll just put it off and then it's done last minute. Most feel like the old self. When things pile up, when I take on lots at once, when I feel overwhelmed. That's basically the same thing, said 3 different ways. Hidden benefit of staying in old identity. I get to shy away from moving forward, less pressure as low expectations. I get to stay in my comfort zone, but I couldn't resist writing down, I do not like being unreliable to others or to myself. That really bothers me when I'm thinking about the hidden benefits.
You
If
don't
I can-
like to be so the hidden benefit is that you don't like to be unreliable. So
No, but that was screaming at me as well. So as much as I understand the hidden benefits and the things that I am getting from being being a flop to myself in that situation, the other half of my brain's also screaming at me like, stop using excuses or stop saying things that are, that is benefiting, because think of all the things it's not benefiting. So I do definitely, because we did the AA group together, I understand the existential kink, I really do. But I feel like I've given into it for so long, almost like used it as such an excuse for myself.
okay.
So I feel like I just wanted to acknowledge that to myself. Maybe I shouldn't have read it out, basically.
No, you absolutely should read it. It might be came up for a reason.
Yeah.
Out of curiosity, could the benefit to that voice be that if you don't step into your higher self or future self, whatever you want to call it, you don't get to let anybody down?
I don't understand.
No, I can see that. So if you don't, it's that whole thing about failure.
Yeah.
If I don't do it, I can't fail.
Yeah.
Apart from the fact that if you're not doing it, you're already failing.
Yeah.
So is there, I don't know if I've just misunderstood you here, is there a benefit to that voice beating you up about not letting yourself and other people down, but at the same time, the benefit of you staying nice and safe in your old patterns is that you don't get to let anybody down because everyone is used to you being in those old patterns?
That makes the most sense.
Okay.
That does make sense. Okay, right, moving on. If I continue the old habits, what would life business look like in a year? 0% progress, disappointment to myself, nothing to show my son or my inner child in regards to progress. If I was already successful, how would I act differently? I'd be consistent, disciplined, I would plan and then do. Be, do, have, and I think I would have more respect for myself, really.
Okay.
One new habit I'll commit to today: start and finish a task on my to-do list.
Excellent. Thank you. Juliana, are you busting to sing? Yeah. Talk.
Okay. 3 habits of my old identity. Time counting. Too much on my to-do list, and then it feels like I kind of just never achieve it. And not having like consistent tasks. Like I end up doing a bit of everything, which feels like progress, but maybe then it's just everything's taking time. When I feel the most like myself, like my old self, when I dress to go out, when I wake up, because I already think about not wasting time. And then at the end of the day, when I kind of like reflect about the day, if it was a good day or not. And when I look at pictures, the benefit, efficiency, because I get lots done. But here's the thing though, if I continue these habits, how I see myself, and a lot of positive came. So like, because I do so much, I see progress. I see memories happen. I see things happen. And then when I try to think to myself, okay, what would be bad about it? Then what I came up was that obviously I controlled a lot, so maybe I would be really tired. But I didn't necessarily see as a negative straight away, because the fact that I am doing and being efficient felt like I would be progressing. In a year's time, I wouldn't be in the same place.
Okay. So if that's the case, why are you here?
Because I think I'm not getting there the best possible way. I'll get there, but maybe I can get there in an easier way or a more chilled way, or
So what is the hidden benefit to getting there in the not best possible way? If that makes sense.
So
If you're here because you want to get there in the best possible way, that
yeah.
is good enough for you. What is the benefit? And that's not what you're doing at the moment. I'm going to go ahead and get the benefit to running it the way you're currently running it. That is not awesome, but is a benefit. So the benefit may well be, like you just said, you are actually getting shit done. So maybe that's the benefit.
Yes, it's just the way I'm doing. I'm beating myself up to get shit done.
Okay, so what's the benefit to beating yourself up?
I don't drop the ball.
Okay, what's the benefit?
I don't get lazy.
Yeah. So what's the benefit to not getting lazy?
I might self-motivate.
Yeah.
I get shit done.
Yeah.
Okay.
So maybe here there's a bit of a fear here that if you flip into the new identity, motivation is going to go completely out the window. If motivation goes completely out the window, fuck all gets done. And it's that, but I'm going to go ahead and guess it's the wrong sort of motivation. You want to be motivated from the desire to have fun and be calm and all that jazz, rather than beating yourself up with it.
Yeah.
So it's interesting. Soph mentioned existential kink. I would start thinking on the terms of, what are you getting from beating yourself up?
Okay.
What's the benefit of beating yourself up? Is it because you've always done it? Is it because part of you absolutely loves it? Because part of me fucking loves it when I beat myself up. Loves it when I do martyrdom. Brilliant. Love it. Still. Awesome. Thank you.
So if I was already, how I would act different, less pressure, fewer things to do on the day, and not looking as much at the time. And the one habit for today, feel really good no matter the number of tasks I've done, because I just enjoyed it during the time.
Okay, awesome. Toby, I know you're desperate to share, but I want to get on with some tapping. Unless you really do want to share.
I wrote some stuff down, but yeah, it's probably very similar to what a lot of other people have said. So
yeah, okay.
You probably don't need to.
It would be interesting for you to do this again when you've done day 2.
Yeah.
Just to see, because that was about establishing the new identity. This is about making sure you don't flip back.
Cool.
But well done for playing along. Isn't it interesting how a lot of these sound very similar?
Yeah, that's good.
I hate not being unique. Okay. All right then, my lovelies, let us dive into some tapping based off the back of that. As the last couple of days, this is going to be a call and response tap on the whole. So Toby, I don't know if you've done call and response to me before. Essentially, call and response is where I'm going to ask you to fill in. So I'm going to say things like, tell me how it makes you feel. And then you're going to tell me out loud, whilst muted, how it makes you feel and what you think, so that the tapping becomes very specific to you. Does that make sense? You'll figure it out as we go. All right then, my lovelies. So when you're ready, closing your eyes. Taking a nice deep breath in and hold it. And let it go. Breath in and hold. And let it go. And one more, breath in and hold. And let it go. Beautiful. And keeping your eyes closed, just allowing your breathing to come easily, naturally, rhythmically, as you take just a moment to really feel the connection to whatever it is you're sitting on or against. Just becoming aware of where it connects with your body. noticing how it just seems to rise up to support you. And as you allow yourself to sink into that support just a little bit more now, I'd like to invite you to give yourself permission to become conscious and aware of the habits that reinforce your old identity. Just allow yourself to recall the stuff you do that reinforces your old identity. Recall when you are most likely to do that. What triggers you to flip back into your old identity? How do you know to pick up the pattern and habit of your old identity? If you were to teach someone how to do that, what would the instructions be? How would they know when to start the pattern? What is the trigger? Is it a feeling? Is it a situation? Is it a person? Is it a combination? Or is it something else? And I'd like you to imagine that you can imagine a scenario that would cause you to flip back into the old pattern. Maybe it's a memory of when you've done just that. Maybe you're just imagining it. When you flip back into the old pattern, how does that feel? And if you're coming up with things like frustrating, annoying, sad, shameful, I'm going to ask you to also notice more positive feelings. Safe, comfortable, relieved. Notice any part of you that is frightened or resistant to losing that more positive emotion by you not flipping into the old pattern. Take a nice deep breath in and hold it. And let it go. And when you're ready, opening your eyes. Jill, my lovely, what were you miming at me?
That last question, could you repeat it, please?
Yes, I think.
Sorry, easier questions available.
What? There's a part of you that is potentially frightened of losing that more comfortable emotion or that positive emotion that it gets from flipping into your old pattern. So just notice how potentially how resistant it is to not being able to flip into the old pattern. I think that's what I said. That or thereabouts. Cool. Just make a note on a scale of 1 to 10 of how resistant part of you is to losing the ability to feel the positive emotion by not flipping into the old emotion. Does that make sense? I'm seeing very confused faces. So if we work on the basis that if you don't flip into the old pattern that gives you safety and comfort and ease, potentially, if you stop flipping into the old pattern, there's a part of you that thinks it's going to lose safety, ease, whatever it might be, comfort. So when you think about not flipping into the old pattern, essentially embodying the new you, how resistant is the part of you that wants to feel the comfort and the ease and the safety from the old pattern? Does that make more sense? Is anyone still unclear? Wave at me if you're unclear. Toby, your eyes are looking like you're unclear. I don't know what you just said.
It's a bit of a tongue twister, isn't it? I think part of me, I'm already resisting it, trying to think of how.
Yeah.
And I kind of thinking what we're saying. So there's obviously a resistance there because I don't actually think about the question.
Yeah, maybe. Or maybe it's just my skill at communication. I blame Venus retrograde. And I think it's Mercury retrograde coming up soon, isn't it? That's my excuse. Going to stick with it. If you struggled with that, if you didn't quite get your head around it, don't worry. We're just going to dive into some tapping anyway, and it'll figure itself out. So, starting on the side of your hands, my lovelies. Even though there is a part of me that is resistant, potentially, to giving up the habits and patterns that reinforce my old identity, I choose to love and accept myself. Even though there is a part of me that gets something positive, that gets some kind of benefit from running the old habits and patterns. And it doesn't want to give it up. I choose to love and accept myself. Even though I have all sorts of hidden benefits and quite a few fucking obvious benefits. To staying in my old identity. And there's a part of me that doesn't want to give that up. Even though it will run me into the same place this time next year. I choose to deeply and completely love and forgive myself. Beautiful eyebrow. There are certain habits and patterns. Side eye. I have that reinforce my old identity. Under eye. And then tell me some of those habits and patterns. Tell me out loud what they are. Under nose. Keep telling me. Fess it up. Chin. If you finish them, repeat them. Collarbone. Keep rinsing and repeating as we tap through. Tell me the patterns and habits that reinforce your old identity. Underarm. Beautiful. Top of head. And then tell me when you feel most like your old self. When you have to take action. Maybe. Eyebrow. Keep telling me when you feel most like your old self. Because this is the time that probably triggers the habits or patterns. Side eye. If you need to read from your notes, please do so. Under eye. Keep telling me when you feel most like your old self. When are you most likely to trigger those habits or patterns? On the nose. Beautiful. And as you tell me when you most feel like your old self, Jim, I'd like you to recognize or get curious about if you tend to be doing a certain thing, or if you tend to be in a certain scenario, or if you tend to be with certain people. Collarbone. Is there a time, a place, a thing, a person that tends to trigger you to embody your old self? That perhaps in the past you've gone, fuck, why did I slip back into that? If you can't think of a person, a place, a time, or a thing, I'd like you to just set the intention to get curious. If there was a time, a place, a person, a thing that triggers you to flop back into your old habits, what might they be? Underarm. And then tell me out loud what will happen if you continue the same way. Top of head. Where will your life or business be? What would it look like in a year? Tell me out loud. If you let these old habits and patterns rule you, what will be the consequence? Eyebrow. I'll be in the same place. I'll be slightly worse off. Side eye. I'll actually be further forward, but I won't feel very happy about it. What is it? What is the consequence of you continuing these old habits and patterns? Under eye. And how does that make you feel? An emotion or a physical feeling or both? On the nose. Tell me again how it makes you feel. The thought of being wherever it is you'll be in a year's time, how does that make you feel? Collarbone. And when you think about that, and when you feel that, what do you start to believe about yourself that is not empowering? Maybe something like, I've been here before. I don't believe I can change. I always do this. I can't do it. I'm not good enough to do it. I can't do it the right way. Underarm. Tell me again what you start to believe about yourself. Top of head. But repeating after me. But despite all that, eyebrow, I still can't change. Side eye. I need to run these habits and patterns. Under eye. Because I need the safety. On the nose. I need the comfort. Chin. I need the familiarity. Collarbone. I don't want to have to sacrifice any of that. Underarm. There is a part of me that needs those old habits and patterns. Top of head. Because. And tell me why that part of you needs those old habits and patterns. Why you can't possibly let them go. Eyebrow. If you're not too sure, you can say, I'm not too sure why part of me needs these old habits and patterns, but clearly part of me does because I'm running them. Side eye. Tell me again why that part of you cannot sacrifice these old habits and patterns. Why it absolutely refuses. Under eye. Under nose. And then tell me how that makes you feel. This knowledge that part of you absolutely refuses to sacrifice, how does that make you feel? Frustrated? Angry? Or relieved? Chin. Allow yourself to get curious about this one. Is there part of you going, thank God I can't sacrifice that? Collarbone. Or is part of you getting really frustrated with it? Or maybe it's a combination. Don't fight the yawn, Juliana, let it out. Underarm. Repeating after me. I absolutely refuse, top of head, to sacrifice my old habits and patterns. Eyebrow. Even if part of me is desperate to. Side eye. Because in the past. Under eye. These old habits and patterns, on the nose, have kept me safe. Chin. I didn't develop these for no reason. Collarbone. I created these habits and patterns for a purpose. Underarm. And they saved me in some way. Top of head. Even if I can't remember what they saved me from now. Eyebrow. When I created them, they were the only response I could do. Side eye. They were the best response I could do. Under eye. And because they worked, I've kept doing them. Under nose. But over the years. Chin. They've become a little bit warped. Collarbone. Because I am not the same person. Underarm. And I am not in the same place. Top of head. That I was when I created them. Eyebrow. And for the longest time. Side eye. I've shouldn'ted all over myself. Under eye. About these habits and patterns. On the nose. I've got frustrated or angry with them and with myself. Chin. Why do I keep running them? Collarbone. Why can't I just do the thing? Underarm. And I've beaten myself up about it. Top of head. And I've gotten really used to doing that. Eyebrow. And I choose to forgive myself. Side eye. I choose to forgive myself. Under eye. I'm not running these patterns because I'm bad or stupid. On the nose. I'm running them because they worked in the past. Chin. And maybe they're not even my habits or patterns. Collarbone. Maybe I've copied these from someone else. Underarm. Maybe I have inherited them. Top of head. And I'm open to the possibility I can release them. Eyebrow. I choose to get conscious and aware of them. Side eye. Because half the thing is that they were automatic. Under eye. I choose to make them conscious. On the nose. So that I can catch them easily. Chin. And then I get to make a decision. Chin. I can choose to run the old pattern. Underarm. It's a valid choice. Top of head. Or I can choose to act differently. Eyebrow. If I were to act differently, side eye. And then tell me how you would act differently if you were already good enough and or successful. Under eye. Keep telling me how you would act differently. Under nose. Chin. And when you act differently, how will it make you feel? Collarbone. Empowered, happy, scared maybe. How will it make you feel when you act differently? Underarm. When I act differently, I will feel. Top of head. When I act differently, I will feel. Eyebrow. And then tell me what you will have by acting differently. Side eye. What will you have by acting differently? Under eye. And as you tell me what you'll have by acting differently, just notice if there is a little inner voice that sounds a bit concerned about that. That sounds a bit resistant. On the nose. If there is an inner voice that sounds a bit resistant to having that, just acknowledge it. Hello. I hear you. Chin. I hear you, and it's okay. Collarbone. I hear you. You are allowed to be there. Underarm. But what if we didn't have to be so nervous about it? Top of head. What if I can naturally embody my future self? Take a breath. How is everyone doing? I am going to take you slightly over today. If you need to bounce off, please do so. This is the Claire hour. So one of the things my future self does is run to time. Who'd like to share first? Some ahas or insights or some concerns or what happened to their number? Oh, there's some. I'll let you all make notes because there seems to be some frantic writing going on first. So now you have to look like you're writing, or I'm going to pick on you.
So that came at the end. I was like, oh, all these lovely feelings that are going to be feeling like, you know, proactive, enthusiastic. And I thought, yeah, but there's a load of stuff I don't know how to do. Oh, shit.
Okay. The stuff you don't know how to do. If you were to embody your future self and your future self had something that she didn't or he didn't know how to do, how would they act? What would they do? Would they, oh, I'm not going to give you any clues. You think about it.
Really act like she would know and go, well, what would somebody who does know do? Would they get some other bugger to do it, or do a bit of research, or give it a go anyway?
There's always going to be stuff you don't know how to do.
Fair enough.
Mumble years ago, you didn't know how to walk.
Hmm.
Did that stop you? Or did you figure it out?
Yeah.
Did you practice? Did you repeat? Did you get support? When you started training to do whatever it is you're currently doing, did you know what the fuck you were doing? Or did you learn? Did you repeat? Did you ask for help? So if there's a little voice going, fuck, I would do that, but I don't know how to do it, that's fine. There's always going to be something you don't know how to do. There is so much I've got no frigging idea how to do. But if you are embodying the good enough, successful version of you, would they go, oh no, I don't know what to do? Or would they go, okay, I'm not sure what I do here. How do I find out? Would they beat themselves up for not knowing what to do? That's what you embody. That's the be, do, have. So the old pattern may well be, oh, I don't know what to do, so you do nothing. So the new pattern could be, okay, I don't know what to do. That's okay. How do I find out? And something to remember when this is, I'm conscious I've got a chiropractor on the call, so I'm going to have to get this right. Who can that be? Learning takes energy. Your brain, when it's learning, it takes energy. The other thing that happens is you get confused. That's what learning's about. You don't know, so there is confusion until you do know. But there's nothing wrong with confusion. Confusion is just your little synapses, your neural doody whatnots. I've never remember the right terms, trying to find each other. When they make the connection, that's where you go, ah, that's what it is. I can remember in maths years ago, I'm fucking shit at maths. And it would take me, I wouldn't get any, there was a certain thing, probably trigonometry, although I still don't get that, so maybe not that, but let's call it multiplication. I just couldn't get it, For ages, couldn't get it. And then one day, oh, who's had that? Where you suddenly go, oh, that's what it is. I get it. Because you've made the connection. But until then, there's confusion. It's just that when you're at school or somewhere like that, you have to keep doing it. You can't just go, oh, no, I don't get it, and walk away, where you can when you're self-employed. You have the temptation to do that. Like, oh, no, I don't get it, walk away. Because it feels uncomfortable. Would good enough you, successful you, sit with that discomfort and go through it until they learn it? Or alternatively, would they go, I don't have a fucking clue, let's get someone who does? Could go either way. You don't have to know everything. But the question to ask here is, what would future me do? What would good enough me do? Does that make sense? I feel like I've just preached to everyone. Another thing. Who else would like to share? Quick, get a word in before I set off again.
I noticed my number literally dropped to half, so it's 3 out of 10. I feel super empowered because of a lot of the synapsy doody dars came together. Um,
I mean,
uh,
what's like terminology for that? I can. Is it?
yeah.
I hope you know. Otherwise, I'm.
Yeah, the doodahs. Yes, that's correct.
Yeah.
Excellent.
There you go, people. It is technical. I am totes, sciencey and shit.
So I said I've written down I do not want to live in my potential anymore. It's something I've heard all my life since I've been little. You have so much potential, but then there was never an end of that sentence, So in my head, I'm just like, I have so much.
Yeah.
Just put it in my pocket, shall I? What am I doing with it? So I do not live in my potential anymore. And then some stuff came up about I'm really working through this right now, embodying my female energy, because I just know I've been living in my masculine for so long and I do not feel like it's serving me in this place in my life. I feel like I need to lovingly ask it to do one, as in I don't want it at the forefront anymore. It has to be there and I get it,
Yeah.
but I do not want to live in and embody my masculine energy. My mum came to mind. She is a beautiful lady. She is very, pretty and stuff. But as much as I love and respect her as my mum, I would like to have more substance than her. So I feel like I've been battling just a little bit with, I want to love like my mum, but I don't want to be like my mum. But she was my only person to look up to. And then I just went completely in the opposite direction and was like, the masculine energy is the way to go about it. Also, one thing that Jill mentioned was asking for support, and that's something that I will continue to do, because since I've stepped into this new version of myself, which I am trying to elevate and grow, that's something that I have been doing. A few years ago, I never asked for support, never told people what was wrong, dealt with it myself because I thought that's what we were supposed to do. My choice. I need to, make the bed that lay in the bed that I've created, etc.
Yeah.
But we are like emotional beings who need support, and I understand that now.
Yeah. Awesome. Great share. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, this is the thing. And was it Einstein? You can't solve the problem with the same mind that created the problem. Sometimes this is why I love group work, because sometimes you just need to get together with other people who are going through on a similar journey and jam stuff out. Great share. Thank you. One more share. Toby.
Well, the one thing I thought was that just going through that tapping, what I was realizing was that actually already I sort of have some of the things that I want, and it's when you actually think about it, some of the, it's difficult to explain, but I kind of realized that actually some of the old stuff is already kind of gone on some level.
Yeah, awesome. In fact, we were talking about this either yesterday or the day before. Is the forgetting, forgetting how far we've come. But also, what if we've already got it all right now? What if nothing's missing? What if the only stress we're causing ourselves is by thinking that something is missing? What if the only problem is the fact that we think there's a problem? And so I love that by doing this, you're actually kind of reminding us, actually, I have got this. I have done that. Fuck, I'm better than I thought I was. I've always been better than I thought I was. So if you're suddenly realizing you're always better than you think you are, how does that change how you think about yourself? I don't know. Just worth thinking about, maybe. Awesome. Thank you for your shares. So homework. Let me share my screen. Share. Let me get up the right homework. Day 3. Okay, let me shuffle you over here. Oh, there we go. So this is going to just reinforce what we've done on this call, because repetition is our friend. So you're going to break the old identity loop. You're going to identify when you unconsciously slip back into your old patterns and interrupt them in real time. So again, when do you feel most like your old self? What triggers you into old habits? If you know what the trigger is, you can preempt it. So when I say to you, if you were to teach someone how to drop into your pattern, like you were teaching them to make a cup of tea, where would they start? How would they know they need a cup of tea? Yeah, just get curious about it. Interrupt the old pattern. Now you know what triggers you. You can stop reinforcing the old identity. So just notice what you usually tell yourself when you're stuck in that pattern. And what is a new thought you will replace it with? By having that written down and ready to go, you can just use it. So if you want to pop that on a post-it or something and have it somewhere prevalent where you're going to see it, there's no delay. You can catch the old and bring in the new. Of course, there's a tapping at least 6 times throughout today, please. If you want to record yourself doing this and then just listen to your, and then just do it to yourself, if you know what I mean, please feel free. That's easier. And take a new action. The fastest way to make your subconscious believe that you are changing is to prove it with action. So get super clear. What is one habit you will disrupt today? And what is one new action you will take today that aligns with your future self? For bonus brownie points, that is something you can do every day. If you were, or even, every week, if you were to do that every week or every day, how quickly would you create shifts? How quickly would you reinforce the new? And then just notice your shift. What was the biggest pattern you caught today? And how did it feel to interrupt the old habit and take a new action? And if you are in the Successful Holistic Practitioners group, and if you're not, get in there immediately. Please share it in the group. I will put a little post up just recapping today, because that will provide some accountability. Plus, it knows I know you've done it. And then putting on my school mom hat. I will email that out to you just after this call. Does anyone have any questions about it now, so that I can answer them so you're clear? Doable? Awesome stuff. So super fast, super quick. Give me your biggest insight or ha-ha from today. I'm going to start with Soph.
I'm standing in my own way completely, because everything that I feel reinforced my old habits and identity literally come from myself. It's not a person or a thing, because I live on my own. My son's not even home at the moment, and I'm still not getting shit done. So it's really time for some sort of looking at myself and working with myself rather than against myself.
Beautiful. Work with, not against. So just a little caveat to that. Yes. Because a lot of us are very good, or we're very knowledgeable about doing inner work. Do not allow the inner work to stop you from taking the external action.
I get that.
Yeah, just a little caveat there, because I see so many therapists do this.
Of course, I hear you.
Because we just that's what we do. We do it with other people, so we get all caught up in it.
Yeah, I get that. Thank you.
Beautiful, love that. Thank you, Juliana.
I think I realized that I get the highest heat of satisfaction at the end of anything that I do. And maybe that's why I keep chasing.
Yeah.
And until I
interesting.
get to the end, it doesn't feel like it's that good. So I need to learn how to to feel satisfied just with the effort and the progress in every step, rather than have to wait for the very end.
Nice. Effort and progress. So I know you mentioned the other day, this is perhaps where you start to get curious about where you can bring fun in.
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful. Love that. Thank you.
No,
So-
I'm really sorry. I know I'm not supposed to, but Juliana, do you celebrate after the end of every part of your task? Like,
Not yet. No. It doesn't.
celebrate when you planned it. Flipping celebrate when you've done like one thing. Flipping celebrate. My son thinks I'm crazy. I'm like, mind your business. I'm doing a thing here. It really
Thank you.
does help.
Yes.
And I hated it at first. It was so cringy, and now I'm like, woo! Just running around my flat, like, yes, girl. It really does. It gives you that internal emotional boost that no one else can give you. It's all just you.
Yeah, that's
Thank you.
awesome. So maybe halfway through something.
Yeah.
Try that. Yeah, great show. Awesome.
Thank
Thank you, Juliana. Toby.
So yeah, probably biggest insight was that identifying the old patterns was kind of easier than I thought, actually, and that they are probably all things that are relatively easy to change, or at least
Excellent.
tackle, at least.
How does that feel?
Yeah, it feels good. It feels like it's manageable.
Excellent. Awesome stuff. Thank you. Jill, last but not least.
Pattern interrupt is effective because it's just running patterns, identifying maybe what the triggers are or who or where they are, and choosing to do something different.
Oh, I like it. Excellent. Love that. Any more for any more? Beautiful. I shall see you same time, same place tomorrow. Be there or be square. Any questions, give me a shout. Soph, I'll see you in just a moment. I'm going to go for a pee first. Here, mate. So thank you so much for your time today, peeps. Have a wonderful rest of your day. I will bang out the homework in just a moment, and then the recording will come out a little bit later on once it's downloaded and shit. All right, my loves. Mwah! Have an awesome rest of your day. I'll see you soon. Toodles.